Welcome everyone to the FATED ARPG podcast, episode number 141. Today we are talking once again about Path of Exile and all the fun stuff that we're finding out in the Settlers of Kalguur expansion as that unfolds and our knowledge of the game increases as we progress through that stuff. And before we get into the episode itself, I quickly want to announce I did a Reddit post that I'm going to link in the chat and below. We are doing a meetup in Cologne, 23rd of August, 2024. And by we, I mean I, together with Loipi and Koitsoit and also Kikis, and a lot of people from the community, right? Some friends and some people from my viewer base. So make sure you join the Discord. Again, I'll link it. And there I will announce the location on the day of the event, and everyone will be invited to come. I'll bring some food, and it will not be very far from the con. It's just I want to keep it low key, so to avoid certain adversities, right? But also, if you want to help me fund the whole thing, there will be a sponsored stream after this podcast where you can join me playing World of Warships. So download the game now. It's huge if you want to join for that, to support and to be able to beat my ass with your warship. Boat League game, by the way. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into the episode. Here is the co-host, BalorMage. How have you been, Balor?
Fantastic. I finally made a second build.
You stole my build idea.
I don't know what your build idea was.
You did Death Oath. I saw Death Oath
yeah.
in your title.
Yeah, I'm doing Death Oath. I only
Yeah,
like just to maps, so I don't know if it's like good yet. But
yeah, that means you're already like it's impossible for me to catch up to you now. Anyway, we got guests today. Should we get them in?
Let's go.
All right, welcome with us, the one and only GhazzyTV, prolific build guide maker, master of minions, and enthusiast for the metal-y music.
Metal-y music. Hi, glad to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, glad to have you back. And together we're going to introduce another guest who we haven't seen on here before, but who's been a prominent face in the Path of Exile community ever since he got his Twitch account back. Let's welcome with us Big KingKongor.
Hi guys, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Awesome.
Did you just
all familiar faces? I love that. There's like no one in here that I don't know, so that's really awesome as well. It's like a little friend talk over here.
Did you just dab?
Awesome.
I just dab, dude. I dab all the time. I'm stuck in like 2000. What was it?
I just
21, 22.
Just out of curiosity, have you considered not?
Hey, we all got our thing, man. You got your like super colorful shirts, and I got my dabs.
Colorful
What
shirt.
does Ghazzy have?
You even call that a shirt? It's like not even. What is that? What is that cut right there? Does that go all the way down to your belly button?
Like,
it's what they pay for, all right? You give the people what they pay for.
my chat loves it.
Fair enough.
It's beautiful.
So
we're
not on Twitter, by the way, guys, today because Elon stole my blue check mark. So if you got people who want to watch on Twitter, tell them that they have to come to the YouTube today. I'm actually tweeting that right now, just so you know. But yeah, like I think it's worth to do a quick introduction here for people who do not know KingKongor that well. I know you have a video up on your YouTube talking about it, but will you give us a quick TLDW for your disappearance from Twitch? Because you've been away from Twitch for a while, and at the same time, you kind of retracted from the PoE community, didn't really play that much PoE, but then when you got the channel back, you played PoE again, which is why I think you're such a great addition to today's panel, because I want to have different opinions from the ones that people who are playing Path of Exile consecutively for the past 5 to 10 years, right? So you've only recently been coming back, and yeah, just let people know what was happening there. You disappeared 8 years ago, 9 years ago?
7. Like it's about 8 now, but I got unbanned recently in November after battling that for 7 years. So what basically happens, back in the day, big ARPG streamer. Eventually I played other games as well, Pokemon Go. IRL did not exist yet, so it was a really massive gray area. my partner manager would basically constantly say like, "Hey man, you got to show more gameplay," because I was like just walking around like how IRL streams are right now. But I was basically constantly getting a guy messaging me, "Hey man, you got to show your Pokemon Go footage more." But eventually something bad happens. I said a bad word. I got a 1-month suspension for that, which was justified. But during that 1-month suspension, I had my laptop still logged in on an account that Twitch knew I had, but they didn't suspend. So I thought like, oh, it's okay that I can just watch streams. So I didn't stream myself. And I watched our big guy, Zizaron, and one of his viewers noticed that I was showing up in that viewer list, reported me for ban evasion, and 7 years later, we finally back.
Wait,
Zizaron has been helping
typing?
me quite a lot. Like Zizaron has been constantly reaching out to Twitch since he's an ambassador. Like he tried to help me all the time because he also thought my ban was kind of
You weren't
extreme.
even typing?
I did type, yeah, I did type.
Yeah, but I also like just to get this clear because I always was told you appeared on someone else's stream, and I thought
No.
you were like visually featured as a person.
No.
Where it's
No,
like, okay, that's
in
ban evasion,
chat.
but you just typed in chat.
That's it with my ghost account.
What? No mention of what I did?
What?
Years for reaching out to Twitch
Yeah,
on your behalf as well.
Yeah, of
Come
course.
on, man.
But I mean, like,
Oh,
like I mentioned Zizaron because he was, you know, the guy where it happened. So, but a lot of people tried to help me. DJ Weed as well. Guys has been reaching out. Like a lot of people have been trying to help me out. In the end, like the way I got it back, I DM'd the CEO on Instagram. As soon as he became the new CEO, I looked him up everywhere, and so I had like a public Instagram, like 300 followers. And DMs were open, so I messaged him the whole story. A month later, he actually ended up reading it. He replied, he's like, "I'll forward this to the team." And then he told me another month later, like, pay attention to TwitchCon this year. Then nothing happened at TwitchCon, no announcements. So I DM'd him again. And a month later, then they announced something that there's a new appeal thing for people like me. But turns out that appeal thing was already more than a year old. They just never announced it. So I already knew about that. And it ended up being a glitch on my accounts. I should have been able to appeal, but my ban was so old that the system did not know I was banned, even though I was banned. So I couldn't appeal. So eventually I reached out to Nobody Here, or Nobody Me. He's also a Pet of Exile streamer sometimes, but he's also Twitch stuff. And he reached out to a team that checked out my account and said there was a lot of glitches and I should have been able to appeal. So then I contacted Twitch support, and Twitch support then took that serious finally, and it got escalated, and I randomly, as a reply, got an unban. It wasn't even an appeal. They just unbanned me. So yeah, and here I am. So that was pretty awesome. In the end, it took way too long, but I'm just happy to be back. And there's still a big part of my community. I mean, the 7-year break. I mean, sometimes I hear people saying like, I go away for 1 week and I lose half my viewer base. I mean, I did lose more than half of my viewer base, of course, but I still have viewers after 7 years. So I'm very blessed and happy with my people. So it's good to be back. So that's what happened.
Good to have you.
Yeah, I totally know. Yeah, congrats once again. No, that we talk in personal. And
now Catmaster's silent.
Yeah, you're very quiet.
Wait, now I'm silent?
Very quiet.
What? Oh my god, dude.
Even when he yells?
I literally just switched off echo cancellation and had automatically adjust mic volume in here, and now it's broken or what?
Tech issues. But yeah, it was hard for me to play Pet of Exile during the ban because it would give me PTSD.
You guys keep it going. I'll restart the computer once again, and this time I won't switch on echo cancellation. I hope you hear this, but yeah, I'll have.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's just a bit softer.
And be right back because this is not acceptable. I'll be right back.
All right, both of you. First time, at least this league for Ghazzy. First time ever for KingKongor. I want to know when everyone started and how it went.
Zoomancer.
I started as a Sunder guy, then I became Earthshatter, and now I am Molten Strike of the Zenith.
Were they all the same character? Just
Yeah.
changing skills? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard
It was
very
an
good things about
expensive
Molten Strike
change.
of Zenith.
Yeah.
People seem to love that.
It's insane. It screams Kongor, so I love it.
Nice. Now I went Zoomancer. I'm working on a mirror helmet, but it's soaked up so much currency so far. So getting a bit rough.
You're making another community helm?
No community crafting.
Ah.
So we spent just over 2 mirrors in the first week. Well, first 5 or 6 days on it. The problem is mirrors were a lot cheaper then. So now the currency I've invested in the helmet is less than 2 mirrors. So in reality, due to inflation, I've lost a lot more than what I've actually lost in terms of quantitative currency. But
yeah,
I'll get there. Just trying to recover some income right now. Then I'll continue crafting actually later today. I'm gonna finish it, I hope. We'll see.
Are you still playing it? The same build?
Yeah, I normally what I do when I have a mirror project is I play one build and I refuse to upgrade anything on it as long as I can go through the content that I want to go through within my 6 portals just to save income so I can use that currency to make it more currency to then push that to the helmet. So last night, me and my buddy Anter, we got a mage blood for him. I refuse to get one because that's wasted monies that I would rather put in the helmet, so I'll get one later. And then I'll just stay on that build. So now my character has like a half-ass helmet, which should be much better, but I'm in high budget with trash gear. Well, trash helmet at least. So once I finish the helmet, then I'm gonna go crazy with it, and then I start playing other builds. But one step at a time.
Fair enough. I spent all the way up until yesterday on the Holy Relic.
Yeah.
The most fun part about that is I can just ignore every single map mod in existence and run 12 mod uncorrupted maps, like corrupted maps, and never look, never check, never read.
That's so good.
I'm just looking for one number on my maps, whatever the quantity number, that one. That's the only number I look at.
I need to play that now.
It's really cool. I love the Holy Relic.
Reading?
But you changed, like was one of the days I heard you talk about that, Balor. One of the mods that I'm getting a little bit annoyed with is that the current state of the game is like forcing us to do map explicit modifier scaling, and one of the map mods is the reduced effect of auras. So I'm just sitting there and be like, yeah, I got specters that gives me auras. I'm running a fuckload of auras myself, and I like that's like half the build. And then I go into
auras come through at full power, by the way.
Yeah, they do, which is actually really nice. But then you realize that I'm running pure development, which is fine now in high budget. But before I got to that point, my rest was covered by pure development. Now the rest is like the only reason I pure development is ailment immunity, and I cover for blue altars with it. So now I can do the maps of higher tiers that gets like this 120% reduced aura scaling. I'm like, what the fuck are these numbers?
I took every aura out of the build.
Yeah, I saw that.
I just don't run auras because when you do 12 mods and you're adding 4 of them randomly, like 75% of your maps have like 106% reduced aura effect, and you're like, well, then they're not doing anything. I might as well pull them out and do something else with my mana because they're not doing anything.
Are you running 17s or?
Just 16s. I ran like 12 tier 17s or something, which is also fine. But I have to like read. I'm not immune to all tier 17 map mods. You have to roll those still.
Yeah. No. I just started doing those.
Yeah.
They're fun. Yeah, with the strong boxes. Fucking ridiculous. It's crazy.
I do them on Harbingers. They get pretty juiced up.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I actually did quite a few tier 17s. Gold was like not an issue anymore after you start doing tier 17s.
Yeah, it's insane.
One map is like 40 to 75,000 gold. No problem.
It goes so fast.
Yeah, but actually, I only run Series 17s now if I have a cheerleader with me, which is the champion support build. It's
Oh,
so good. It fits the Sumantia build so perfectly. It's insane. But other than that, it's not so much anymore.
Fits just
Welcome
about
back.
everyone, I think.
Yeah,
Like,
it
you
fits
can just
everyone.
change it to be.
Yeah,
You can even support a poison build with it. Like, you can
Yeah.
that cheerleader build can support my holy relic build
Yeah.
well, which is odd because you normally can't. There's normally nothing a support can do, really, for a poison build.
yeah.
You can make me more
Also-
tanky, but like you got nothing else for me. But no, that build's great.
Like the Sumancer cold version doesn't go spell suppression, and this cheerleader support just caps my spell suppression, and I don't go
me
region.
like 85 spell suppress.
No, he actually caps me 100%. And then
Jesus.
I don't go region because I go leech. He gives me all the region. So basically, every single defensive stat that I do not scale, the cheerleader brings. So that's region, extra
Nice.
resistances, and spell suppression, and block chance capped. Actually, run a little block, but he caps it for me as well. So I'm like, everything I don't run, you cap me with. And then he gets all the offensive scaling as well. So I'm like, yeah, this is like the best support build you can have for a Sumancer. And it's cheap as shit to make as well.
Oh yeah, that's so
Insane.
cheap.
That is crazy. How do I sound now?
Perfect.
fantastic. Yeah, keep it that way.
All
Yeah,
right,
touch
great.
nothing.
I actually, it took a while, but like I listened to you on my phone, just with a little delay. Listened to the stream on the Bluetooth headphones, so I didn't miss too much.
Good.
That's good. Yeah. So yeah, we're back. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to quickly interject. I'm back, and I got the microphone fixed, and everything should be great.
Welcome back. What did you start with?
Oh, I'm
Build.
still on my starter build as we speak. I was thinking about making a Devs Oath as well, like Balor, but then when I had that thought, I was like, let's do a sub goal for level a new character. So I got a reason to stay on my old one because I'm in comfy zone, and then I didn't really stream for the entire week because I was so busy at work that yeah. But but we're doing today. But I'm playing Glacial Hammer Slayer, following the Goratha build.
Fun.
And yeah, I've always wanted to play Glacial Hammer in recent years. And then there was the Glacial Hammer of Shattering Transfigured Gem, where you get a guaranteed crit every third hit. And I was like, last league already, I kind of want to make that build, right? With the guaranteed crits, right? Because you take all kinds of stats that reduce your crit chance, right? And you play with super low actual nominal crit chance because you get a guaranteed crit every third hit anyway. And then you get, in turn, a lot of crit multi. You can use the Maryland's Fallacy amulet and all that. So I had that build cooking in my head already for a while. And then was the melee buff. And then I was like, well, I want to play Glacial Hammer now that the melee buff is there. And now I'm doing a non-crit version of the build, actually. So I'm not actually using the crit, the guaranteed crit stuff. But it's just incredibly good to be freezing things. And auto-exertion on Ancestral Cry is super strong, right? I get 2 additional enemies hit from, I don't know, 1 is from the tree or 2 is from the tree, but together with the Ancestral Call, you hit so many additional enemies, and you don't really feel melee because it's like covering a large large area, lots of enemies. And yeah, despite my relatively limited playtime and low investment in the build, I feel it's pretty strong. And yeah, I have to bring it into tier 17s though. Like, that's gonna be the ultimate test, right? I hear that's what people say. That's the benchmark.
Yeah, the T70s are crazy. I actually really like them. This is the first time I do them, so yeah, they're awesome.
I
really
like the idea like you have to actually care about the roles. I mean, if you bring in like a support build, it gets, you know, basically don't give a shit about half the mods anymore. But like if you go in solo, your build has to either be super expensive, super high budget, or you have to actually care about the mods all of a sudden. And I kind of like that approach. It gets another layer to the game. You roll the maps a bit, you actually have really nice mods from it.
I very much like that they exist, and their difficulty is much more appropriate this league. I don't like that they almost completely invalidate every other Atlas strategy in existence. that doesn't involve tier 17s. Don't love that.
Yeah.
Hope that gets addressed. But I do love that they exist. And I like their current difficulty level. So right now, my only Atlas strategy, because I'm not running tier 17s, is how do I generate the most amount of tier 17s? Sell to other people. Because that's if I'm in tier 16s, that's how I'm going to make money.
Yeah.
They actually do sell for a decent chunk of money.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
And in bulk, people will buy like 20 at a time.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, how do you get 20 really quick?
that's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
And how much money do you get for 20?
Oh, like
lot.
a div map?
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
div map.
If you've got like 20 plus,
What?
yeah.
That's
Just sell them on TFT, they'll
insane.
pay you a div map.
I mean, some maps are like, especially Abomination is going for like what 50C, and the other one's like 70 to 80C each. You're telling me you pay twice as much for a bulk?
If you've got enough of them. Most of the time, I think they're selling for like 0.8 of a div map.
Bro,
But-
I did one shout out on stream and I bought 40 maps and I paid like 75C average.
Should we pay? We sell, I think, for 0.8 regularly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, there's
Should
a-
pay more. Feel
They're
bad
going
now.
for about 0.7, according to my chat. Sometimes like 20 maps, 14D, easy. That's pretty good.
That's still good though, yeah.
Yeah, that's really
For a
nice.
bulk price, that's good.
Yeah,
I'm one
good
of
for
those
that.
guys that just buys multiple from multiple people. Like, I am a greedy guy.
I'm like
time
still
is
trying
money.
to fine tune it, but I get right now, I would say I get 2 tier 17s out of every 3 maps, which isn't quite enough. I want it to be 1 every map. So I'm trying to fine tune the process.
I feel
Trying
so
to- trying to-
bad now, man. Like I literally just like when I reached, I was shouted out on stream, and like some people just sold me like 4 or 5 maps.
Yeah.
but
But if you've
Like-
only got like, 4 or 5 maps, they're not worth that. They're worth 75C or whatever, right? Like that's
yeah.
it's
So
only
then
when
I
you
did
get, like,
pay them
20
what they're.
plus.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I literally underpaid my viewers, but then I did pay them the right price.
If
Fuck
they
yeah.
had have
Getting me
collectively
worried
put all of
here.
their maps
You
You
together.
heard it here first. GhazzyTV scamming his viewers.
He's buying it from his minions.
My minion.
Right?
Well, we just concluded that I did not. I did pay the right price, but I
Yeah,
got a
if
lot
they
of people always.
collectively put all their maps together and sold them
Yeah, then it would
in
be
one trade, then they would have got more. But any individual person needs to have like 20 plus at
Okay.
least
Yeah,
to
that
get
did
the
that.
bulk price sell.
We're good.
Right?
I'm good.
And not just 20 total. It's got to be like 20 of the one map that people want, which is actually there's 3 of them now, but
No.
there's only one bad map now. But it's like 20 of the same map to get a good price, right?
Yeah, all right.
So, like I said, I haven't really been playing the week. Catch me up. What did I miss? Was there was a patch, right? Did they buff shipping rewards? Is that something that we got?
No, they should. No, they don't need to actually. I lied.
I just came back. Like, I didn't play for 5 days. I kept
Oh,
shipping,
neither did
though.
you.
Yeah, I kept shipping.
You went to the D4 place. I remember.
Yeah. It got boring quick, sadly. I really wanted to enjoy it, but like last season, I really liked. This season, I don't know. It's too quick. Like yesterday, after 7 hours, it's like, okay, guess I'm done.
Well, I mean, as
mean,
long
that's
as that
always
time
gonna-
spent feels good, right? Like, I think,
Yeah,
Gazzy,
no.
you said that it's good now.
Yeah, I mean, what you're saying, Conger, has always been the problem with D4, in my opinion. It's like the longevity is very limited. So unless it's something really cool we can dive into, like the pit, for example, was really cool when it first launched. It gave me like a
Yeah.
week worth of enjoyment. But I really hate the pit, but because it was new, it enjoyed me. It allowed me to enjoy it for about a week of only doing that content. But now I'm done after a few hours. I really hate that content. But I feel like the Season 5 is the first seasonal content Diablo 4 has released in a year time that does not fall under the category of this is what it should have been on launch. So
Yeah.
this is their first season that's actually content after what it should have been on launch, and it's a
Yep.
good season. It's good
Yeah.
enjoyment. It's fun. Longevity is always going to be cut because Diablo is too casual, catering too much to the casual landies. So the limitation of longevity is there. But I would say that season 5 is the best season they've ever had, and it's actually a good season, even though blasters will not get a long-term enjoyment from it, though.
I wouldn't call it the best. I mean, if we talk about it like it's the first season, so it's automatically the best, right? Like if we say like the previous season was how it should have launched, and then this season 1, but they basically killed it. They killed the pits entirely. There's no point going there, so that's why I kind of dislike it personally. But yeah, let's talk about Pet of Exile.
Yeah, no, I just quickly wanted to get you guys' impressions because I know you're avid ARPG players and you check them out all.
Yeah.
And I think Ballard, you didn't have time to check Diablo this week, right? You didn't.
So I mean,
too busy with POE.
I mean, I got as much time as any streamer. I still streamed like 8 hours every day. I just
yeah, but you were
at a
busy with
minimum.
Path of Exile because you're so close to the launch still.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's more that I'm like just wasn't even interested. I didn't even look at the league mechanic, to be honest. Couldn't tell you what the league is called. No idea.
All right, fair.
I just was like, it's too close to PoE. Like, I'm having so much fun. I got plans.
Yeah.
I got things to do. The Diablo 4 people aren't capable of making a game good enough to get me this early in a PoE league. I just don't have the ability.
Some harsh truths there.
I love this.
It's not my fault. I wanted to be in love with the game, and they can't blame me.
Me too, man. I mean, I love it, but it's just that I have the same, man. Like, well, I felt like I had to play it, and I really wanted to play it and check it out. But I did have a feeling like every time I played, I mean, my Pet of Exile was open in the background, and sometimes I would just check on my ships and then play Diablo again. So I was like having both games open most of the time. Yesterday was the first day I didn't really check on my ships. So I just started sending out really long ones, which doesn't give any extra.
Here's what I'm hearing. Kingsmarch is better than Diablo 4.
I really like city building games. I mean, but the city is like, there's one thing I wish they did different with Kingsmarch, is that we could basically decide ourselves where what is placed. That would have been cool. Wouldn't have made much of a difference, but I mean, that would have been nice. So you have like a little unique touch to your city. That would have been dope.
I still have the same complaint I had in week 1. Well, technically 3, but one main complaint, which is that ore I still think is bugged. I think it's been bugged the whole league. I think ore is bugged.
Or?
Yeah, there's a great reason for that. If I scour my tier 16 map and run it with no Atlas tree, I'll get 900 to 1200 ore. And if I put a full pack of size effect Atlas tree in and I do 12 mod corrupted maps, I will get 800 to 1200 ore, which is the same amount. But I've put a shitload of investment into the map. It's got 300% quantity on it. It's got 290% rarity on it. It's got 12 modifiers that are scaled to all hell, and the ore's the same amount. And this is the bit that clinches it for me. If you take out all your miners except 3, but they're high tier, and you just run 3 miners, they keep up with the amount of ore that you get in maps. You don't need more than 3. They can mine all your ore. You will not go to bed with ore still mining.
Yeah, true.
You only need 3 miners, which means we've got way too much for the amount of ore we could possibly generate. And rolling a map doesn't change the amount of ore we could possibly generate.
I don't mind that, though. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like it. I don't mind it, though. You got to keep in mind that the majority of the player base don't play as many degenerate hours as you do.
Sure.
I'm just saying.
You need more ore?
I think that the biggest problem is how the casual landies can't keep up with the necessity of gold. I mean, once you start running tier 17s, you're swimming in it. Like, you're fine. But if you don't do that, or if you're blasting 12 mods in corrupted tier 16 maps, gold is an issue. And
I
I can't
40,000 gold a map. What are you doing?
Actually, I never
That's
had
what
gold
I'm
issues the
saying.
entire league ever.
No, like I
Just
had no
keep
problems
mapping.
either. I'm just saying that casual Andes will have problems with this because they are not running that type of content. They're not getting 40,000 gold, 70,000 gold a map. That's just not happening. You know, I can't engage with the currency exchange trade with the way that I like to
That's
trade.
fair.
I can't do that even if I'm running my tier 17s. Because if I do that, my gold bank will be drained. Like it's not possible. And not
That's
taking
fair,
that cash to Landies. Like it's just not gonna
If I
happen.
think about it, the first 10 days, I couldn't bring myself to touch Faustus at all. I was too desperate for gold. Like now I'm okay. But it's going to take Casual Andy another 2 months to get to the point I was at in 10 days, playing 17 hours a day. And by then, the league's over. You're not playing anymore. So yeah, I can see gold being an issue for a lot of people still.
I mean, like I played a little bit with an aura bot, not much. Like most of my 17 grinding has been done solo, right? And that's when I made the most gold because you get so much from it. But when I played with an aura bot, you know, I had more fun doing that. It was actually really enjoyable to do that. But you split the gold, so now if you're playing party, you get a lot less gold. Like I make so much less gold playing with an aura bot. So now imagine you'll take your casual Andy who's playing with their partner or their friend. Now you're making even less money.
I don't think you split the gold.
I don't know. Like I run with an aura bot, I get like 20, 30,000 from a tier 17. I run it solo, I get 50,000 plus. Maybe it's just map mods. I don't know.
How do you
That's my
feel
experience.
about the mapper cost? I think it's a bit excessive.
That's
Since-
excessive as well.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I
It
get
costs a
less
lot.
gold when I play with a party member. Is that not true? Has it just been map mods? Because that's been my consistent experience.
I don't think it's true. I don't think you split gold, and you definitely don't split ore. It duplicates
I got
the ore.
ore doesn't
more
get
golds
split,
when I
know
was
that.
playing with Pox. Like I did a couple runs with Pox, and I was swimming in gold all of a sudden.
Take it back. I might be wrong here because I've been getting like 50,000 plus playing tier 17 solo. But when I do with a party, I've been getting less. But that might just be the maps. I haven't done that many though. But maybe that's just me.
Sounds like a skill issue.
Nope. I'll take it back then. I might be wrong, Chad. All right, boys.
But gold does scale with rarity, right? Like because I've been told by people that they're trying to stack rarity and gold flask and everything to get bigger gold amounts.
I'm running a gold flask on every build for the rest of the league.
Oh,
If it's your only
Really?
rarity, it's like 30% more gold.
Wow.
Like if you don't have any rarity anywhere else, you put a gold flask on with a rarity suffix, 30% more gold out of every map.
that's quite a lot.
Yeah, gold flask is now mandatory on all my characters for the rest of the league.
Like you're actually being serious.
Yeah. Gold flask gets more gold.
And here I was thinking what I'm gonna do with my last flask slot. Now I know.
It's gonna be a gold flask.
We could put it on a mage
Apparently.
blood.
It's the main reason that I
I don't
want a
have
mage
one
blood.
yet.
The main reason I want a mage blood is so I can get a 70% ink effect gold flask and get more gold.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, that was such a goblet.
Now, there's going to technically, some people are going to tell you there's a limit to how much rarity you can get. And they're referencing, so how it works is it takes a random amount of normal magic and rare gear and converts it to gold instead of gear, which is fine because we had it all hidden anyway and it was all trash. And people are concerned, oh, I get so much rarity, I'm going to get so many uniques, and it doesn't convert the uniques. And like, technically speaking, that happens. But there's more rare gears than there are unique. There's way more magic gear than there is rare gear, and there's way more normal gear than there is magic gear. So even though you're moving stuff into uniques, you're moving even more magic gear into being rare, and then even more normal gear into being magic, right? So there's no cap. More rarity, better.
So like I've done something that I normally don't do. And that's killing a lot of monsters.
Yep.
I normally do a lot of crafting rather than just blasting. So that's been a fun experience for me. What's not been a fun experience for me is how I have exactly 981,444 kills out of the majority of those outside of the tier 17s I've done the last few days have been done in, juiced up maps that can drop apothecary. Got a lot of gold, but I ain't got no goddamn card.
Yeah. I am currently in the process of redoing my scries away from the apothecary card because without quant farming, it seems like I'm fucking just never going to see one.
Yep. Not a single one. And I'm like, I'm sure I dropped a couple, but they just showed up as gold,
Nah, it doesn't convert cards.
Oh, but
Only
that's the
converts
thing. There
gear.
was a clip of a guy who had a guaranteed X amount of div cards from a boss kill. Does the boss kill, 0 cards, just gold.
So there's
weird.
2 bugs that can happen with that. But the one that probably happened is those guaranteed div cards can sometimes roll div cards that can't drop. Yeah, they're disabled. The disabled
So
div
that's
cards
the
that don't
bug?
exist.
Is that
You can roll those
confirmed?
sometimes and just not drop anything.
Is that confirmed though? Because
I mean, that was something that was known about like
kills.
years ago. I don't know if it's still what's happening now. I'm just assuming it is. Like, that's a big assumption. That was years old bug. That's a big assumption for me to make, I guess.
I didn't even know about that bug. I know about other bugs though that are still in the game.
There's always going to be bugs in ARPGs.
Yeah.
Some are worse than others though. Some are way worse than others. Like Dancing Dervish, for example.
Oh,
How
God.
long has that not been a problem? Like, it doesn't even move anymore. Like, they fucked it up real bad.
But Signal Prey works, right? Like, I think I've been told you can use Signal Prey, and it's actually, like, you have to direct it to what it should focus, but then it does move and attack? Or at least it does attack? I don't know. Maybe you need to drop it in the right location already.
It's been going through list after list after list of issues, and they have a couple devs that actually been helping out a lot with it. One of the big steps they did was change the way their attacks work. Because first it was a targeted attack that was a cyclone ability. Then they changed it to use the player-like ability, which is an aerial area targeted destination system to it. So they changed target. It's just really weird. But yeah, it's just been a consistent problem with it. I don't know how many times they've gone through Dancing Dervish iterations, and it's just like they just never get it to a state where it's good again. That's how it feels, at least. Apparently there's a bug fix that came out, 3.250D, saying fix the bug where manifested dancing dervishes were failing to target enemies correctly. So they do move now.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
All you needed was this FATED connection to find out, man.
Oh my god.
I could do.
At least
I can do a dancing dervish build. That's fun. They're not good, but they're fun. That's all right. I'm playing Death's Oath right now. That's not good either, but it's fun.
Yeah.
How is it not good, though? It's like basically just Righteous Fire in a bad way, or what?
So it got a buff this league. 2 buffs, really. Right?
Yeah.
One, its base damage went from 750 to 1,000. Spoiler alert, it needed to go to about 1,500. So it still needs more. Just to be like, I'm going to be able to make it usable by throwing stupid amounts of currency at it. I'll make it good, but it's not reasonable. But the second one is the Hidden Anoint that adds 80% area to aura skills. And it's an aura, so it's 80% area, which is a lot.
Yeah, that's quite a bit. That's like, what, 30% more radius or something like that, right?
I don't know exactly.
It depends on how many increases you have.
It goes now off the bottom of the screen and touches the top of the screen with the circle just nicks the top of the screen. Like that's how big it is now, which is significantly larger than it used to be.
Can you make that even bigger, or?
I mean, that's just with the Anoint and a Woke Ink AoE in. So I could take more area, but I don't know if I need to or care to. That's 3 times the size of Righteous Fire, so it'll do.
What do you use for single target these days? Still Caustic Arrow or?
Look, everyone's using Caustic Arrow. I put Caustic Arrow on. I'm using Caustic Arrow right now. I have 2 other plans in my brain. One of them using the new crafting bench, and one doing a different thing. We'll see if they work. First, I'm going to see if I can get enough damage out of Caustic Arrow before I start trying to do weird stuff. We'll see if I can get enough damage out of the stuff that's known to be the best, and then see if I can work on it.
Yeah.
Alright. Fair enough. Well, that's good that you make the build, so you can pave the way for me, you know, like make the mistakes that I don't want to make, and I can just then copy what you did and be like, hey guys, this is my Death Self build. It's way better than Balor's.
My bigger concern than damage is defenses. Defenses are rough this league.
There's so many layers always.
Physical
I can't
damage.
imagine that working in tier 17 at all.
This Death South is not a tier 17 build. Just no.
I mean, there are some builds that just completely trashes tier 17s, even a low budget. And then you have like the builds that require some decent investments. And then you have your B tier shit list like Death South. That will just never do it.
Death South is a S tier fun, B tier at best actual.
I mean, I'm sure.
It's so fun though.
Yeah, maybe if you take a bucket of currency, because that's always going to be the thing in PoE. Almost everything can be solved with enough currency, right? So I'm sure you'll find a way to spend obnoxious amounts to make it.
Oh, that's all. I've already got obnoxious amounts into it. I've got an ornate quiver with like 50 dot multi on it.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I got one of those helix rings. You know, those helix rings. 22 dot multi, 83 life, 27 all res, and 49 chaos res, and 46 chaos damage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Helix ring. I don't know how they're said. They're the ones with the like -2 prefix +1 suffix, 50% suffix modifier things. Those.
I got a question there, but like it's segueing away from the Death Soul. Do you have any like really important parts of the talking points about the Death Soul still?
Mostly okay. One more thing, and it doesn't apply to Death South, it applies to every build I've ever made. I made a decision today. I'm dropping armor and determination from every single build that I make. They're gone. We will not be running armor anymore.
No armor, no determination?
No armor, no determination. It's trash. I went and took my min-maxed version of Holy Relic, this build, that I'm the good one, this league, that is like 14 armor tattoos that cost like 40C each, and a bunch of armor investment, and still only had like 18,000 armor.
Well, that's just a build issue.
So I took it.
It doesn't mean armor is bad on every
took
build.
it, and I put the max hit in on Path of Building, and I took every single bit of investment in armor out, including all the tattoos and the flask and everything. And my max hit went from 19,100 to 18,300.
And then you had life instead.
And I was just like, but I just lost all that investment. I lost almost no tank at all. And then I was like, okay, what happens if I put another, let's say I put determination back on and I add another 1,000 flats somewhere else. And then I looked and it only gained like 500 more effective hit. And I was like, nope, armor's trash. Turns out, I think if you can't get at least 50 or 60,000 armor, you should just stay at 0. Don't bother.
Just get more DPS.
Yeah, I think you can get more tankiness elsewhere. There are other defenses. It's not like a have armor or don't have armor, right? It's a have armor or have this thing. And I just think this thing, it wins most of the time. There'll be exceptions. There'll be like melee builds and champions and stuff that can get like 50, 60, 70,000 armor, where it's like, okay, that's enough to matter. But everybody, I'm going to say everyone down below or around 30,000 should drop it all and invest in other defenses instead.
I don't know. I feel like I don't mind the armor, but like if you're looking at the defensive layers, I think the stacking of certain approaches feels better. Like right now, we can do some really weird shit, like Svalin shield with block cap. Stack that together with evasion, and now you have an entropy system combined with a block system when you finally do get hit, and then you just add a little bit of ward. So when you finally do take a hit, you're now ward covering it, right? So that's kind of like what I want to do. I've been seeing some people running Pathfinder Wraith Lord Spectre builds with Doriani's prototype. So I'm kind of curious to see if that's something you can make it work in like low budget states, like beginner stuff. But I'm a little concerned on that front. But it seems to work at least because there's people actually playing it. So I got
this ward is completely new, right?
So
not this league, but relatively new.
It was completely new in Expedition League, just like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. I never really saw it before.
So which one? Sorry.
So you never saw ward before?
Oh,
no,
ward,
there's the energy shield stuff, but like when I saw like in this league when I logged in, I was like, oh, ward. And but I always play. I'm a melee Andy. Like I just want to get in the face, and
it's a very niche thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Like it's. I think people use it mostly like sometimes for defenses, but mostly in ward loop builds, if I remember correctly, right? And that's even like a niche thing. Like there's not that many of those around.
I'm losing my mind.
Specific items that you can. Why?
I'm losing my mind still that ward is 3 years old. Expedition was 3 years ago. Are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
Dude, we're getting old fast, dude. Trust me.
That feels like yesterday. I'm so old. Oh.
Like we streamers just don't age.
That's true. But Baller, did you see that Pathfinder build?
Yeah, I did.
What's your take on it? I'd never seen it before. It's like, what? This does not work a lot, but you cannot league start this. You need currency to actually scale the build. So I'm like, I've never seen that. So I have to look into it because it's such a cool thing. It's like, I just find it so cool.
Okay, explain like I'm 5. What does the build do with ward?
No, I don't think it scales ward. It's something I've been talking to my mods about before, but then this build popped up in my feed, and I was like, I gotta check this out. It's basically a Pathfinder with tied to time belt, and it scales its defensive layer through evasion, which works as like its entropy system, right? So when you finally do take a hit, you're having lucky hit block or lucky block hits with Svalin. So when you finally eventually take a hit, it's like what 10-12% chance that it even does damage to you.
Yep.
Like, when you finally do take a hit,
and then because that shield has a little bit of ward on it, you'll have like 200 or 300 wards. So the hit that eventually comes through, 200 or 300 gets shaved off the hit just from ward, and then you get your other defenses. Well. And
it's just.
I liked the defensive mechanics more than I liked the actual build, though. I didn't think that minion build was all it.
The scaling is Doriani's prototypes. You'll do damage by default. The problem is lightning dots. Like Doriani's prototype will always have that issue. Like that's the only problem. But you're still playing a Pathfinder, so you can like instead of the classical Doriani's prototype way where you go Lethe Shade, which basically makes it so that instead of you dying in 0.3 seconds inside a mana siphoner, you're gonna die in 0.6 seconds. But the Pathfinder, like you have a lot of regen and the ability, that type of layer through the flask and whatnot that allows you to be in a position where that might be 0.8 seconds instead. So that's still a problem, right? I just found the defensive layer, like you said, really cool with it. I'm not sure if it would be the best to run, with Dorian's minion build to it, but the tech itself is really interesting.
Yeah, it's always fascinating to see like what kind of things people come up with the different mechanics in the game, and like when there's just like one new item or like one little thing that changes things, puts everything into a new context, and there's this cascade of possibilities, and all of a sudden builds that previously just weren't around or have been forgotten and shelved for like years all of a sudden come back in some shape or form. I mean, how many times did Worm Blaster come back when they nerfed it, right? Like people found so many ways to make that build happen again. It's crazy.
Wait until I put the build this league.
I emailed TGG asking them if they might want to rework my Kongor's Undying Rage, because Rage has changed so much, so maybe we can do something with that. Would be cool. And that could
Did you get a response already?
No, I think they're very busy. I did get a response from the support, and they forwarded it, and they'll get back to me as soon as they have an answer, or maybe they'll get back to me. But I checked my spam so far, nothing. It's been like 2-3 weeks.
It's unfortunate that they can't really do that, I think, because that would be like special treatment for you as...
No, they have changed it before. They have changed multiple... yeah. I mean, it's a very old unique.
If they change one supporter unique, then they have to change all supporter uniques, kind of, or at least be open to that idea. That's what I mean, right?
But they have done it before.
Yeah, they have already done it.
He wouldn't be the first.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a very old unique.
But
I used it once in a build.
Haven't they like changed uniques in the past? But basically, they've made a decision not because they got asked about it.
I don't know,
because they refused to do it with the brother's gift thingy, right?
Yeah. I don't know the circumstances. I just know supporter uniques have been changed before.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to
know if it was
that
on
box,
request.
Right? Yeah, because like if they open that box and let people do it on request, then
well, it's not really a request. I just give them some ideas, and maybe they're open for it.
No.
Never hurts to ask anyway. Somebody get back eventually. The worst thing they do is be like, "No, we don't do that," and you're like, "All right, I asked."
At least you tried. Yeah.
Exactly.
The worst thing that can happen is you get a no, right?
Yeah. Because right now it's just Kongor's Undying vendor, right? Well, the replica was doing well this league for a little while. It was actually starting to sell and went up in price a little bit. It was interesting. I didn't even know a replica existed until like someone told me.
Yeah, I didn't know until you told me just a second ago. And I'm actually a fan of the item. Like I said, I used it back in the day for like a static strike Pathfinder.
Awesome.
It was like just a speedy low map clearer. It was during Legion, and it was worse than other static strike builds. Right? It's just my own idea to make a static strike work. But at the time, I thought it was pretty amazing. It just hit some things with that mace and then run for like 5 to 8 seconds, and everything was arcing out and killing packs.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. Yeah, it just when I dropped that supporter pack back in the beta of the game, I just had a vision of this game doing well, and well, here we are. We're still playing it, so I'm still very happy I made that choice. Yeah, dude. Everyone was hating because that was like when Diablo 3 was the only thing, and then Pet of Exile came, and everyone was like, "Oh, Pet of Exile sucks." I mean, that still happens, right? There's always this battle between Diablo and Pet of Exile. Like, some people only like Diablo, some people only like Pet of Exile, and some people are weird, like me, and like both.
But I mean, back
I lean more towards POE.
We didn't have, the Blizzard reputation wasn't tarnished back then. And most of us were Blizzard fanboys. Like, I was one of those. I was Blizzard D3 only. Like, come on, man. My friend, I was very upset about minions not feeling that good in Diablo. One of the D2 experience. Friend of mine tells me, "Yo, you should try Path of Exile. Minions actually work there. They're really good. They're competitive." So I'm like, "Say no more. I'll try it out." I got hooked, that? But this is soon to be 11 years ago.
Yeah, nice.
10 and a half, I think. So the problem was that they felt really good, and I got hooked. But minions weren't competitive at all. I got fucking debated so hard into that shit, but I got hooked. There we are.
No, it was a lot of fun back then as well. It was very different, of course, but man, the game has changed a lot. Especially after, I mean, I did play a little bit during my ban here and there. I played a lot of the Delirium League, like a lot. But after that, I took a long break again. It was very difficult for me to play and not feel crappy. so addicted now every time I play it, except for last league. Last league, I hate it. I played it for a few days and I was like, yeah, I
What
needed a
was the
build
league
just
where
like
you came
Balor.
back?
The league when I came back,
Just for context.
well, November. I think I played
Last
a little
year,
bit.
November.
Yeah, last year November. But the one that I really got hooked on was March. So 2 leagues ago with the Wildwood. Wildwood was amazing. I was playing Fulcrum build. It was so fucking cool.
Yeah.
That was so sick. I think it was Affliction, yeah, that I came
Wildwood
back.
was crazy.
Oh wait, Affliction was Wildwood, right?
Yeah.
Or-
Yep.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
everybody
That
Affliction was
one
ran
was
Wildwood.
to
You
really
came
cool.
back the
Fulcrum
league
back then.
before that then.
Yeah, I did. I forgot what
was
it
the league
was.
then? I need to check.
forgot.
Yeah, it's.
As soon as you say it, I'll know it.
Wait, Path
Which
of
team we talking
Exile
about? Trial of
leagues.
the Ancestors or?
Probably Toda, yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
I didn't play it that much though, but I did play it. But it's also last league that made me.
Affliction, yeah.
Yeah, last league also made me decide that I'll never play hardcore in this game again ever. Except for Zizzer on his gauntlets, those are fun. I lost my character to desync, and I was like, yeah, no thanks, no more.
I
I
don't
think a
know.
few of you have seen that clip.
It's like, you know, they've been talking about 3-month leagues. That's all they talk about. Every time they announce it, they call it a 3-month league. It's been over 2 years since we had a 3-month league.
Yeah.
How long
2
are they
years.
usually?
4 now. Since
Oh,
2
okay.
years, we get 4-month leagues.
Yeah, 3 years per league. And honestly, like, I don't even mind that. I would just like them to embrace the fact that it's 4 months per league and just, like, work towards that and promote it that way instead of, like, always hyping us up for returning to 3 months leagues and then being like, well, but next league actually is going to be a couple weeks later. Which,
I want it to
you know,
stay 4 months.
Yeah, as long as the leagues are good, I
PoE2.
don't mind, honestly.
Yeah, with PoE2, I want it to stay 4-month leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
'Cause
it's going to be
it's 2
essentially
months.
2 months leagues.
Yeah, because it's 2 months. I'm going to be... If you make them 3 months, I got 6 weeks on each one, and that's only if you perfectly stagger them.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, they've always talked about going back to 3 months. I talk to them quite often about it, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna make sure we come back to 3-month leagues. It's always the goal. They want to go back to 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. And then I looked into it, and unless I'm mistaken, it's 2 years now, more than 2 years since we had a 3-month league. And I'm like, just get us 3 months league back. Come on. I don't want to have 4 months of Necropolis. I don't mind 4 months of, boat league. But I do mind when it's 4 months of Necropolis, okay?
I've taken 4 months of Affliction. That was fun.
Yeah. It was so good.
It was, yeah. I felt like Affliction got to the point where it's like, it's just too much now. But that's just me.
It's just because she didn't find a mirror.
Well, I played the game for over a decade, and I never found a mirror, and I refused to magic find during Affliction because I felt like that was cheating. Still haven't dropped one.
Unlucky, man.
Well, before we delved into this whole sidetrack about Diablo and the PoE leagues and all that, Balor was sharing his feelings about the armor defense. You guys have any strong feelings about armor? And if you don't, like if you don't want to add anything to the armor thing, I guess I could quickly say I'm scaling mostly armor on iron reflexes, and it makes sense on the build, and it feels okay. I don't think it would be worth giving up all my armor for other stuff. But yeah, I can totally see that on like a Death's Oath build or like
How much armor you
build.
got, though?
Not that much, but I'll reach the 50-60k eventually when I get the gear upgrades. Right now I'm just using very crappy gear, right? It's just, but I get above 30k definitely, like above 20 permanently, above 30 with flask.
I have 12k armor, and the only reason I have that is because I get flat physical damage reduction for running a Guardian Turtle, which is the reason I run it, not the determination.
Yep.
I'd rather have PDR than I have armor. But
yeah, totally.
I was sad about taking off determination off this Death's Oath build, not because of the armor, but because I had a Watcher's Eye that had physical damage reduction
have
while
that
affected by determination. And I was like, oh man, losing that 8 PDR is going to be rough. And then I'm like, aren't you losing all your armor? Yeah, I don't care though. But my 8 PDR.
I mean, like the armor is really good versus very, very fast small hits. Because the lower the hit is, the more mitigation you do, right?
So
And
a better way to say that is if you're not in any danger, armor will work really well. But when you need it, it does nothing.
Okay.
That's how I feel. Yeah, you need obnoxious amounts and things to scale with it for it to be worth scaling. I wouldn't say that not using armor is good. I would say that putting a lot of effort into scaling a lot of it when your build isn't doubling down on the scaling of it is bad. I think that's a better take on it, because I still use the armadillo roll on my flask just to get a little bit of armor. It still does a little bit. Still helps
I'm not
me,
even going to use
there's
granite
no other
anymore.
stuff because I would benefit from.
Wait, just for
I'm not
context,
even-
none of you are molten shell, right? None of you guys
No.
are using molten shell.
I hate pending debuffs buffs that is
I
only
do
up for a
have it.
certain amount of time.
Yeah, because I feel like that's a really big reason to have armor is if you're running molten shell, because my molten shell is obviously so much stronger when I have armor, and if I don't have armor, it's not even worth having it in the build, right?
Okay. But then your multi shell's down, and now you have a cooldown on it. What do you do during that time frame? You just die.
I
Or
run around.
you run
Like, I'm a
around.
melee build, okay? So I have to walk up into the enemy's face and start hitting them, right? Because I'm Glacial Hammer, most of the times I'll heavily chill them. A lot of times I'll freeze them, so they get stuck in front of me. Say I free an Essence monster. It's a tanky Essence monster, but I chuck, and then they're frozen, right? But the moment they get unfrozen, I'm like, I'm not sure I can freeze them instantly again. I might take a hit here. I press my Molten Shell, and then it's up, right? And it protects me from an eventual hit, and until I freeze again to bridge that gap. Or sometimes do you know how the swings, the melee swing animations sometimes don't have the same duration? Like the first swing is slower than the second one or something like that. I don't know whether it's just two-handers or just dual wielding. I'm one hand with shield. But yeah, sometimes it feels like you can't accurately know how long it will take for a hit to go out, because there's also so many changing debuffs, right? I don't monitor at any point whether I have onslaught up, whether I have my flask up that makes me faster, and whether I'm at full frenzy charges or still stacking up frenzy charges. So yeah, in those situations where I'm not 100% sure I'll freeze them in time and I'll kill them in time, I can use the Molten Shell, and it does feel good.
This sounds
Maybe
to me
I'm
like you have
glorifying
this MMO rotation. You're like, yeah, you gotta hit the button to do your rotation damage, and when this happens, I gotta put up a shield.
MMO rotation sounds like the way I've never played an MMO, right? But here's how I imagine an MMO rotation is to be relatively static and always the same. Like you kind of have these timers in your head that go off until you press the buttons, and that's not how I play the build at all. I play the build as if I was playing PoE 2, right? Like I go in, I think about the enemy, I try to read the animation, I try to sidestep the hit, I try to like melee hit, I try to reactively use my guard skill and all that to get ready. So maybe I'm playing the game wrong, but I'm having fun with that.
I would say it's a bit weird.
Two things. One, it sounds like you could replace Molten Shell with Steel Skin and call it a day.
Yeah, and then you'd have half the duration, because Steel Skin has half the duration of Molten Shell.
Two, I would bet my left nut that you're failing that 9 out of 10 times. You're on cooldown when you want it, you use it, it doesn't get taken away, you don't get hit, and then you press the button thinking it's good, you don't get hit, and then when you need it, it's on cooldown, or you don't press it quick enough. There's no way. There's no way.
I personally have only ever used Molten Shell when it's cast when damage taken.
Yes,
that's it.
That is the only place.
I would never.
I have my middle mouse button keybind linked to spacebar, and so I can press it anytime. I need to get good at it, right? I'll admit that I suck. I'm not a good player, and yes, you're probably right. I do it as poorly as you described, or like close to that. But the potential is there, right? Like when I fail it, I feel bad about it, and I aspire to do it better. And I'm not sure whether there's a perfect way to play, but yeah.
As long as you're having fun, man.
Yeah,
the perfect way is fun.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Everyone plays the game differently. I heavily disagree with. I really dislike pending buffs. That's why I never liked the Elementalist, the old version. You know, the whole
Well,
Like
but there
any
you don't
bot.
have any control over it, right? You need to kind of know the rhythm. But with the
Yeah,
molten
but
shell, I know when I use it, so I know when it's on cooldown and when it comes off cooldown.
yeah, but you still have the player agency issue where you might just press it too late, or it's just off cooldown when you now need it, or it's on cooldown when you now need it. Like it's similar but not the same. I don't know, I just never liked it. If I can stay away
No,
from it, I
I
will.
get it. I get it. And there's some times where I also play the game like that. But ever since I've been to LA and I got my PoE 2 fix, right? I came back, I did a ruthless playthrough with the controller that we got from LA. And I played 10 acts through with Rain of Arrows and Ruthless, and I got super lucky. I actually found added cold damage and Trinity and weapon elemental damage support, all before Kitava, and that was kind of unethical, like
So
actual 4 link for Kitava. And I
I
Necropolis crafted a bow.
fucking Necropolis crowd. I will say this though, because you mentioned you playing like PoE 2. So what I will say is this: PoE 1 is entirely proactive gameplay. PoE 2 is reactive gameplay. That's what separates the two titles. That's why I
I
don't like the
think
idea
you're
of.
Yo, no, yo, you don't like the idea of saying it like that, or like playing PoE 1 like playing PoE 2. I'd
Yes,
say like
because
for
one is
both
proactive.
games there is an aspect of both to both games, right? But the balance is mirrored or like opposite, right? I think PoE 2 will still have a lot of proactive aspects where you build your build, you set up your skill rotation, you set up the build that it works and that your character has strong enough offenses and defenses so you can basically steamroll the monsters, at least in certain areas, right? Maybe not in the highest content in the first week like you do in Path of Exile 1, but yeah. And in the same way, I think PoE 1 has a lot of room for for reactive gameplay, right? Even though you can technically solve the entire game completely with proactive build making and gameplay style setting up. Or would you disagree?
No, I definitely think that the whole idea with PoE 1 with a proactive approach is you see it everywhere. The reason we run automatic flasks, the reason we run the charges for the flasks, we can keep them up 24/7. Everything we do is proactive whenever we can. And
Yeah,
in
that's
PoE
because
2,
you are no lifing the game at 12 plus hours per day, and obviously you can't min max or micromanage the game for that long. But like at the highest level of play, people are doing that, right? Like Balor just brought up in chat, Ben. Who, okay, he plays also a lot per day, but I'm not that
you
good. But if
can't
I play
compare
like two or
Ben to your
three,
casual Andy. Ben was bred in a test tube. Casual Andys came out of the womb of their mothers.
yeah, but they can still aspire to that, right?
Yeah, we can all
Like they can
aspire
still
to be
be
bred in
like,
a
hey, I
test
want
tube, I
to.
guess. I mean, that's
Okay, different question, right? Okay, the way that you play the game should be appropriate to your skills, but by that logic, no one should ever try and race practice, right? Because obviously you're not good at racing, so you shouldn't be doing racing, right? You know, that's what I mean. So like, if a good player can do proactive gameplay in PoE, I can become a good player doing proactive gameplay in PoE and reactive. But I need to start doing it by playing it poorly because I can't start out being good, right?
yeah, but you're talking about practicing and aspiring to become a better gamer. The like the 99% of the player base will never do that. That is the majority of the
Yeah,
player
they
base.
just want to have their quick divine fix and
The people playing the game because it's fun. They don't like that. That's how casual players play. That's the majority of the player base. And the game for these people are proactive. You will not see them become little spawns of Ben. Because Ben is just a whole that's a different level. I thought I was good. Ben
I
makes me look like
never
I
thought
just
I was good.
installed the game. Yeah. I mean, my I just woke up. That's how it feels. You looking at him gaming, right? So I mean, you can't really compare that. Like that's one thing. All I'm saying is that sure there will be the players that will improve and learn and whatnot, but I mean, I feel personally, I played the game for over a decade. there is no shot that I feel comfortable or confident that I can pull off clicking a molten shell in time when something's about to hit me. Because I mean, just off screen, it's a hasted rare guy that hits 5 times as hard as rushing at me, and I just click the molten shell for this
Wait.
essence, dude.
But yeah, like I think you're dealing too much in absolutes here, like black and white kind of thing. Are you telling me you never like try to play reactively in Act 10 Kitava and try to outposition the boss?
What we're saying
That's
is
different. Are you talking about
6
telegraph?
out of
build?
every 7 deaths happened so quick I could never have reacted to it to begin with. Having a button to press to try and save me would never have gotten pressed in time.
I agree. It's crazy sometimes. Especially in T17s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
All like
bosses.
every
saying is that
situation in Path of Exile that could kill you is a situation that you brought yourself into.
Of
And that you
course.
could have foreseen, right?
Absolutely. But that's usually at the map rolling level.
But YOLO, right?
Yeah. Almost every death that isn't DC related is the player's fault. I agree. Almost every one of those deaths happened in your hideout. Almost all of them.
I agree with that. Yeah.
It happened in your hideout. You rolled a map you shouldn't have rolled with a character that couldn't do those mods safely, or you walked in and saw quills and knew you didn't have a way to deal with it and should have walked back out again. But that's not what we do in softcore. Just hit the alk and you go into the map.
Anyways, so I started blasting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that even if you don't want to admit it, Ghazzy, I'm pretty sure that I strike a nerve with some players. Probably not the average, probably not the majority, but I know for a fact there are a lot of players, even at the lower skill level, that like to aspire to play the game that way, to have like situational awareness and like press the buttons at the right time.
I'm not disagreeing that exists. I love that. I mean, I myself have been part of that for a very long time as well, trying to get better at the game. That's part of the fun for a lot of people. What I was saying is that the idea of the game being heavily proactive is not something you can say is not the case. There's one thing of them dodging a telegraphed ability like Kitava or whatever, having a big explosion. Oh, I can use this skill to mitigate this, or I can dodge it. That's the difference between going into a map where you get to, you guys remember getting off screen by a white skeleton 1.5 screen away. You just see this barely visible arrows flying towards you. If you got hit by that, you were dead, but you couldn't see it. All of those things, they still exist depending on a map roll, which goes back to what Bala was saying. So we play the game in a proactive way, and everyone does. You don't click a flask to get your defensive layers after you see the enemy. You want to have it up before you actually even have them on your screen, because once they're in the screen, they're already hurting.
Yep.
PoE2 doesn't do that. PoE2 is very reactive, which is why it's very cool, because in PoE2,
that's cool. Yeah, I like that.
Like you really feel like you're playing a game and you're responding to what's happening, which gives you the skill level to the game. The better you are as a gamer, the better experience you'll have in PoE2. And that's very clear. In PoE1, no. I mean, you can always aspire to become a better gamer, but the game itself is forcing you to play proactively.
Yep. I felt the ability to play reactively when I was playing PoE2.
I'm the only guy here that hasn't played it. It was bad, man.
Come to Gamescom.
I'm looking forward to it. Is it at
Still tickets
Gamescom?
for like Thursday. Yeah, of course they're there.
Oh. Wait, that's Thursday? Maybe I should go.
20 like next week, right? Not this coming week, but the week from 19th to 23rd. So Thursday the 22nd, I think there's still tickets for that. Wednesday there's still wildcard tickets, I think, but you can only enter after 1 p.m. as a private visitor.
But maybe I'll go. I'm not sure. We'll see.
In case
I mean, there will be
reach out to
beta soon as well, I think. Leaving the house is scary, man. I have to go outside.
Yeah, but it becomes scarier every year.
There's
so
no
technically,
currency
this is the last
outside,
opportunity.
guys.
There's
This
a
is the
lot
last
of
safe
grass
opportunity.
and no divine orbs between you and
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the one day I'll find another mirror to link to Ghazzy, and then I'm actually at Gamescom. And yeah, life is hardcore, and I told you guys I don't do hardcore.
already play hardcore in real life.
Shit. Well, I mean, we
This
don't
is a
know for
hardcore
sure
stream.
if life is really permadeath, right?
I hope it
You
is.
do get to resurrect in town.
I don't want to do this again. Anyway.
Hey, I'm playing solo self-found, man. God damn.
Yeah.
Mirror.
Yeah. Anyway, so if you're coming to Gamescom, let me know.
Yeah, I'll think
because,
about it.
Then I can get you on the server for the meetup, and we can hang out, and I can show you the best burger in Cologne.
Oh shit! Wait, so it's actually where you live?
It's like really close by.
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I
man.
live in Bonn, which is like a couple 40 kilometers from Cologne, I think.
That's nice.
But it's like I jump into the train. I'm at the
15 minutes
where the fair is. Nah, unfortunately,
20?
not that quick.
Oh.
I think a total with all the walking and thing from my place to there, it's like 70 minutes. But like just fares is probably like 50, 40 maybe only.
Okay.
But yeah.
That's cool.
So, fun fact on mirrors. You guys remember Sis having a bug in one of the leagues where he didn't get 4-socket resonators in Dell? Apparently. So I reached out to Chris Wilson because I was like, I played the game for like 10 and a half years. I should have dropped the mirror by now. That's my opinion. So I reached out to him and said, yo, my cat's bug fixed, please. So he said that the resonator issue that Sis was having was a specific bug with that type of delve item from that he liked to recall. That might not be entirely true, but that's what he wrote, that he recalled it to be that case. But his response was that it's thousands of years of play per mirror or something. Very few people get one, a tiny fraction of 1%. And then I see people who drop several mirrors consistently.
I think that statement did not apply to Affliction.
Yeah, that Affliction was a different story. Absolutely. I think Fupgun got like what? How many mirrors did that guy get? That league?
Too many.
It's crazy. Like multiple a day, man. Like what the hell? Monster juicer. It was wild.
Can't even remember if I dropped a mirror that league.
It's like a mirror. Nah, whatever.
I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did.
I don't remember. Oh man, you live a
I
different
remember
life.
the first one. Anything after that is less like rememberable, right? Like
Yeah.
I know the first. I know what map I was in.
Just
I
a
know
mirror.
what character I was playing.
You know what
I know
shirt
what
you were
league
wearing.
it was. I don't know what shirt I was wearing that fucking game. I remember all the
You're
in-game
barely
variables
wearing
for
your
my
current
first
shirt.
mirror. Right?
Oh,
The first one, I could check because my chat will. I'll just keep listing them up. Right, it would be mirror 2, mirror 3, mirror 4 on commands, so I could just do them and find out how many I've got. But it's only the first one you ever like remember long term.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. It's like the games always have this thing where it's like, this is the one thing you will never forget, right?
Yeah.
Like Tibia, you will always remember your first dragon.
Tibia.
Yeah. In POE, it's the goddamn mirror, and I played the game for a decade and still haven't seen it.
Oh man.
So yeah, I don't know. I got nothing memorable to say about POE anymore. So, yeah, I don't know.
Nothing memorable.
Good memory.
Wow. Poor guy, man. Guys just suffering every day.
I had another question. We segued around quite a bit again, but to bring things back onto the topic that we diverged from, which was originally we were like talking a little bit about the state of armor in the current game. Then I went into how good it is for Molten Shell, and then we had this whole reactive, proactive kind of debate, and yeah. But I was curious to hear, because we've been taking it as a given, as a necessity, as something you want in every build for so long. And this league, I've seen several people throw around the sentiment that it's not as good as people make it to be, and it's not really that necessary at all. And that spell suppression, some people said it's overrated, and I don't know, is there anything to it, or are those people just cooked?
I don't use any spell suppress. Zero.
Never, or just not on the current character?
This entire character, every single build I've played had no suppress. None. Zero. All 3 builds.
That's why you don't play hardcore anymore.
Well, I mean, I don't die as long as I don't touch those blue pillars. So if I want to level, I just avoid those things. And but yeah,
I don't think it got any worse, or that it's not worth using. I think the ability to block or raise your max res got
Got better,
easier.
yeah.
And those were the two other options. And we didn't have access to the other options, so suppress was mandatory. Now we have better access to other options. Suppress is no longer mandatory.
Oh yeah, also fair point that Crucial is raising in chat endurance charge change to elemental damage reduction instead of the resists, which
I have
just
a lot
went
of that.
over your cap and didn't do anything, and now they multiply with your resistances.
It's really
and
nice.
So
I overcap my resistances with my flask, who like automatically pop all the time as long as I get hit, which I always do. And next to that, I have like 7 endurance charges, I think it is. So that's pretty tanky.
Nice.
And a lot of life. Yeah, it works really well. Because I remember when I came back to the game, I was asking my chat, like, why am I dying? Because I didn't know spell suppress existed. And then apparently everyone's like, oh, you got to cap spell suppress. So that became the norm. Like every single character I made. So that's the first thing I looked at. Spell suppress, spell suppress. And spell suppress stuff, I mean, still sells for a lot, right? Because not every character uses endurance. So
it just depends on where I am in the tree now. Like I no longer feel forced to head over to the right-hand side and get all my suppress. If my build's over there, suppress fucking great. I'm definitely going to cap it.
Yeah.
But that's always going to be the name of the game, right? It depends on the gearing you have and where you are located on the tree. So if you are on the right-hand side, spell suppression is a very easily accessible stat to go for, assuming you're running evasion-based gear, which you could do hybrids in worst-case scenario. And sometimes, like, for example, the poison minion builds, they are mostly on the top left side of the things, right? Because you want to get the big minion cluster and whatnot. So that's normally where they're always dabble, at least. The very least, Great Pact, Spiritual, all those nodes. The problem, though, is that if they want to cap the spell suppression, they normally go for a Green Nightmare Jewel, which is either slotted next to Sanctuary or at the side, right? Or Mage Bane to compensate for that. And sometimes even going for an oil. Now we're looking at that's a lot of investment to get that spell suppression versus the literal 2 different areas of max res, one of which is stupidly good next to Resolute Techniques. In that area, right? That's like, what the hell is happening there?
All, and then there's +1 on a max block node that's right there, and then
you have so much max resistance in that position. I gotta double check how much it actually is. Sanctuary is +1. And then you have
below that.
Nomadic Teaching is +2. And then you have another 3 nodes that gives 1 for each. So 5 different nodes gives you +4 to all res. All elemental res, sorry, not chaos. That's +4. In the same area you would invest for a Mage Bane or Green Nightmare to go spell suppression. I mean, I'd rather do that because spell suppression is spells. Now you're mitigating elemental damage taken and not spells. But no, spell suppression has always been a very easy way to mitigate a ton of damage. But like with the current changes to the game, it's been more of a struggle trying to solve the whole fist damage situation. Part of it is the armor, and the other one is the removal of fist damage taken as is now much harder to come by.
Yeah, there's far fewer sources, which also did indirectly buff the uniques that do provide it, predominantly Cloak of Flame and Lightning Coil.
Rare chest get Eldritch Implicit, at least.
Yeah, but they don't get the fist taken as anymore. Because the... Oh, Eldritch Implicit fist taken as, that's what you mean. I thought you were saying
yeah,
like,
we
I
use
wouldn't wear
for
unique.
chaos. Which is kind of nice because you can get the Searing Exarch lowest tier can get you +1 to max Ellie res as well. So now you have +5 just out of nowhere, just like that. That's not bad.
Like eventually, once I get my Mage Blood, then I can drop all that from the tree and just get it from the flasks. Get a Fire Flask and then All Resist Flask. And I don't know how much it will give, but like it will overcap quite hard, and it will always be up, which is just broken.
You mean like just generic resistances?
No, like hold on, what's flask is it again?
They're 5 max res, are they?
Yeah, the ruby. Yeah.
Yeah, they changed them back.
Yeah.
They were reduced, and now they're max
Yeah, you
res again.
scale it up, right? 70%.
Yep. Pretty crazy.
You get
Ends up being like
decimals round
9.
down. Yeah, but it's rounding down, right? Well, you get effect from dabblers, which is like what 35. So you actually do get 9%, right?
Yeah, you get 9%,
Yeah.
which is fine. That's good. I'll take that.
Oh yeah. Like as soon as they get made well equipped, it's just done. 9% from that plus the tree. I mean, you're capping yourself. You're good.
Yeah. That's
Now you just gotta
insane.
think about the fist damage, right? Gotta get that sorted.
I'm glad I chose a build that I can basically keep investing in. It's like Molten Zenith is just, yeah, you can put like infinite mirrors in there, I think. So we'll see where I'll end up at the end of the league.
You don't make multiple builds. You're just gonna like keep pumping into one build.
One build Andy usually. I might make a second. Like so Affliction I played multiple. I became a Magic fan Andy, but I was really, really into Fulcrum. That was really cool.
Yeah.
It was so fun. Just I mean it's I was playing with Pox the other day as well, and he said like Fulcrum is basically what is he playing again? That with the fire Righteous Fire build,
Righteous
but
Fire
then
Chieftain.
slightly
Yep.
different. Yeah.
Fulcrum
probably
is
probably
not
like
even
Righteous
really.
Fire.
Fulcrum's not even really a Fulcrum build. What you're really playing is Hinekara's Explosion Chieftain.
Yeah.
And there's just like, 7 or 8 really good ways to deliver the explosions. And Fulcrum is just one of them.
Oh.
All right, another. It's great. They're all fun. That explosion node is amazing.
Yeah.
It's certainly one of the more fun builds I've ever played. I'd probably play it more, except that then it's the same build. And
I think Zenith eventually also goes Explosion into that same it's what was it again? Chieftain or something?
Yeah, it's a Chieftain node.
Yeah, that's where we'll go eventually, but that's when it gets really expensive. But yeah, we'll get there. Looking forward to it. Oh, you're muted.
I apologize. I'm trying to put out fires here in the background. Yeah. Where were we? Everyone has said a bit about suppression and all that. I had like a segue from suppression. Exactly, suppression. I've been trying to recombinate suppression onto boots and gloves and stuff like that, and I had very bad experience with that. Has anyone since last week? I mean, we talked to Tuna and Arrow, and Tuna essentially told us that the Recombinator unfortunately doesn't work at all like it did before, and it's a little bit harder to get the rarer mods now. Has anyone had any good results with the recombination from the league mechanic?
No. I tried a couple axes, two-hander axes, and that ended horrendous. Yeah. No.
I've burned through millions. I go for it, Baller.
My current minion shield was made with recombinators.
Ooh.
And it's a disgustingly good one. Like plus level, damage, resistance, minion life, etc. Life on block, all that stuff.
You don't need crit in yours, right?
No. But even though we have that one success, it's complete trash. There was dumb luck that can't be repeated. Like a whole bunch of people have tried to recreate it with the same way we've done it. We tried to make other pairs. It's not. It did. We somehow dumb lucked into a really good shield right away, and we're like, "Oh, maybe recombinators aren't trash."
Yeah, that's
And
usually
so we
how
played
it
with them
works.
for a little longer and went, "Oh, never mind. They are. We were right the first time."
So what's not in the patch notes is that fractured bases now stay with the base. So I wasted a ton of divs in the start trying to move a +1 fractured spectre chest into a Twilight Regalia, only to find out that the fractured mod is stuck with the base of the item. So that wasn't in the patch notes.
Which by the way is how it should be. That
yes,
makes
I agree
sense.
with that.
But Also tell us.
Yeah, no information about that. Wasted money on that. Chat tried to tell me. I was like, "That's not how recom works." And I watched this, and I'm like, "Maybe I need to look this up." But no, I burnt quite a few millions of gold on the recom. Mainly in the start, we did ritual helmets, archdemon. You can only get item level 84 or higher, which is what's needed for the minion helmets if you do them in tier 17s, or you grab an item level 78 or higher and then smack it together with any item level 90 or higher helmet you get for div cards, and now you have an 84 plus archdemon helmet. Now you put an influence orb on it, re-roll the randomizing on the harvester, woke it, now you have a Shaper Elder archdemon helmet to craft. That's why the market's filled with those. So that was just very simple. You just did it to 50-50 the base and make the item level go up. That's what we've used recoms in the past for. Other than that, I've been moving +1 Spectres into Twilight Regalias. And I've shown this on stream. So those chests went from 20-40 Chaos to now being 2 to 3 Divines per try. And that's just a 50-50 to keep the right base. And then it's just a random odd chance if you get the mod or not, because the +1 Spectre is a guaranteed mod you get from Delve modifiers drops or Delve area drops, which means that Craft of Exile and the database mining that we have from the actual mod doesn't have a weighted pool. So it's not even considered a rarer mod. Nobody knows how to quantify or calculate it. So we're like, let's just see if it works. And I've hit 3 back to back, and then I've gone through 20 chess pieces, spending 40 divs, not hitting it. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's shit. That's it. It's just shit. I tried it. I don't like it.
The funniest part of Recombinators is that this patch changed the way Recombinators work in standard to match how this league does now, which was in no patch note at all. And
Wow.
a bunch of standard people deleted like legacy quant items and like all sorts of things trying to recombinate shit that didn't work.
It's a feature, not a bug.
Painful.
Yeah.
100% intended, by the way.
Rough for them.
How do we clean all these stash stabs and standards?
So it's rough for them, but also it's standard. So, like, I want to feel bad. I want to pretend I feel bad for the standard people so that they don't get upset with me on the internet. But I don't. I don't care about standard. It's not. I'm sorry. I don't.
No, I feel you in that. It's a random guy who looked at his standard, wanted a mirror for the charges. The charge MTX. You guys know about that one?
Mm-hmm.
It looked like currency. The guy, I just saw a random dude in standard. He was like, "Oh, I need a mirror for my charge." I'm like, "Yeah, come over here, man." I think I got one. And that's how I treat standard nowadays. Is like sandbox, like give the shit away. It doesn't really matter anymore. There's zero value.
I can only imagine what your standard stash looks like after all those years. I mean, mine's already pretty crazy. Like, I once was bored. So when I just got my Twitch account back, it's actually the first thing I installed was Pet of Exile. And I was still working, and during work, I was just fixing my standard stash. And now I never look at it again, and it's like 3 leagues again worth of shit. I just don't even want to touch it. It was so much work. I think I spent like 3 whole days just organizing it. It's like, for what?
I tried cleaning it at some point, like try to keep it clean, and then I just gave up because it just got worse and worse and worse. But I have the team I've been playing on and off with for the past many years now. One of the guys actually care about alt artwork. So every time we finish like big items, so we have a lot of currency, I just give that person everything else. I do have a lot in standard, but not as much as you think these days, because I just give it away. Like, it's just a sandbox. But I was one of the guys when leagues started getting more popular that actually stayed and played standard for half a year, maybe a year before I moved over to playing leagues. I played them, but I had my sweet ass character in standard. Why would I restart? I was part of that crew 10 years ago. And then I realized that this shit's boring now. Let's play the league. But back then, a league lasted like 6, 7, 8 months, right?
Which game started with leaks? Was it Pet of Exile or? Oh, Diablo 2.
Ladder, right?
Yeah.
That might have
Yeah,
been before.
I
That's
guess so.
the one
Yeah.
That's the one
I mean,
remember.
like, I think who started with leaks where actually things were slightly different. Was that Diablo as well? Did Diablo 2 do that? I never really did the leaks.
But them posting out like
ladders.
ladder.
I can't
Yeah,
imagine
like,
that POE invented that.
No, I never said that, but that's the one I remember. I mean,
I have no idea.
I don't know. For some reason, I think it's POE that started with like the special leak mechanics and all that. What game? Like now, I want to know.
Yeah, we're not talking about like ladder resets or races. Like when was there a unique mechanic added for a thing?
I feel like that's definitely a POE thing.
It could be. I
would be wrong. Let's just believe that it's a POE thing. Maybe someone's chat has a lore master. POE was first, I think. Yeah. See? On my chat said they started it. No, but I think it's POE. And I think it's a really good addition, though. And then like, a lot of different games are adapting to this. Like, they're all doing the same thing these days. It's
become like the industry standard for the RPGs, right? Now it's expected.
Yeah, absolutely. Puts a lot of pressure.
Silly. It's good stuff though. Like I don't want to play an ARPG that doesn't have leaks.
Yeah, same.
I'd prefer to be a once off.
I like playing Grim Dawn. I just don't like the replayability of it. I'll blast through Grim Dawn for sure, but I don't play.
Grim Dawn doesn't have leaks?
They have community seasons.
Ah, okay.
I didn't even know about that. That happily played.
Yeah, you should check out the community seasons. They're actually kind of fun. I've been dragged into them by my community the last 2 times or last 3 times, and then I think there's going to be a new community season after the big expansion this year. There's going to be a DLC or expansion something, and then no, it's kind of fun. It's definitely, at least it's a ladder reset and then some new fun stuff.
But is that community stuff or is it like actually officially?
Well, it's not official, it's community made, but they actually added content. They added an entire act that was not made by the developers, which is kind of impressive.
Okay.
I think my connection is dying.
Look fine. I don't see anything with you. No pixelation.
No, I just heard some audio stutters. No.
Apparently, there was a game that started seasonal mechanics in 2011.
What?
That's
which game?
That's old. I don't even know how to say that word. Noir?
Oh, that game. Noir.
Sure. I believe you.
That's French.
I remember that game name. I've never played it. Ever.
I don't even think I've seen it before.
You know, it's an ARPG and you just don't have time to play different games. Sometimes that sucks a little, but I do like that I always have just my go-to games. Like my comfy game, out of Exile and all that stuff.
It does help for streaming if it's something where you don't where you kind of know you're in and out and you have all the muscle memory, right? Like, and there's all these loops that you go through all the time: the town loop, the inventory loop, the loot pickup loop, the killing loop, the clearing, the bossing. Because it's so easy to compartmentalize, and you're still able to read chat and answer people without completely sucking at the game.
Yeah. And you would think like playing ARPGs is cheap, because you always get to play the same game, but in the end, we all manage to spend way more than we would otherwise.
Free to play game. I don't want to know how much money I've spent on PvP. I never want to know.
I bought the Voidborn supporter pack as a Christmas gift to myself.
Yeah, but that one was so good.
Yeah, I've got it.
Okay, sure, but it cost more money than I spent on any game combined for the past 2 years.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Sorry about it.
And I was happy. I was like, this is worth it. I can float.
This year itself, I haven't spent a single cent on this game yet.
No.
I bought something, but that was donated by Dreamy, like one of my viewers. He's like, "Oh, you want this pack? Okay, here," and then I bought it. But other than that, I didn't spend any of my own mulas this year.
So far.
So far,
Yeah, the year's not
But they
over.
need to have something really that blows me out of the water, like something that looks super incredible. Because I kind of look at my character now. It's like I have this set look, and I always look like that, and it has to be better than that look for me to want it. Which is hard.
But you should get your mannequins. Like you can get mannequins in your hideouts and put on different sets with a bunch of MTXs on them. So every now and then I go to my wardrobe area and then my entire setup there.
You just
Put
got a
my
walk-in
MTXs
closet.
Oh yeah. So I got this pirate outfit. I got my Voidborn outfit. So I just go there and just shove all the MTXs onto the mannequin with one button press, by the way. And I go to the one I want. I'm like, yeah, I want to look like this right now.
But do you like use different pets as well? I always only use one pet.
No, I change.
I only use the diamond kiwi, nothing else. But that's also because it's really rare.
So I got this this guy in a town that showed up. He had these big Pegasus looking blue horses. I was like, wow, that is insane. They're humongous. I don't like the other horses, so I had to buy them. So I did buy those with the points. See if I can find them. Yeah, they're 160 points. Is Siren Pegasus pets. So now
The pets is the only thing I never use.
Yeah, I don't care for them either. Like I just only care about the diamond kiwi because it's like a beta pet from all the way back. So it just shows that, and it has like a big light beam on it. So
There's one MTX for the beta that I really, really want. I don't even know why. It's not even that cool, but I don't have it and I really want it. And I think it was during the beta. Path of Exile did a collab thing with Razer. Like the hardware Razer. And the people who were playing at that time got Razer footprints, and you can run through and leave little Razer symbols behind you. And I just want it real bad. And you cannot get them.
This is the pet I'm talking about, by the way, for people that haven't seen it. Like the pretty boy.
Oh, that's cool.
Old. Like me.
Wait, hold up a minute now. Hold up a minute now. Show that a bit. Show that again.
Wait, okay, we're getting a party invite. Do I need to come to your hideout?
No, I'm coming over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, now use a hideout. I was gonna say, if you don't like pets, you can at least use them as hideout decorations, which I always thought was a great.
God, what is this crap? Look at this guy, man, with his fucking zoo.
Pet.
Yeah, I have that horse as well. Those are huge. I think that was the main selling point.
Turtle, man, what is that? God damn.
Spectre, don't worry about that.
That's just a Spectre.
Wait, it's a Spectre, but it doesn't have the Spectre glow?
Oh, man.
No, I have a silver amulet that makes them have a silver plating.
Oh. Right, I see.
But the horses are humongous.
They're too big. And before they get like one of those items they have in World of Warcraft, the pet biscuit, where you can make your pets bigger. I think that would be a problem in this game. Because in World of Warcraft, they make the pet like 200% bigger. They got you really big. Like imagine those horses. Yeah, that would not be good.
But there's some cool pets. Like Scourge League had some really cool stuff. The Scourge wings, if you have divergence effect on them, and the Scourge pet looks really cool. It's one of the bosses, but like a mini version.
Yeah. Damn. Let me check. I'm sorry, I'm blanking completely. Are you guys, is there anything that you wanted to talk about that you were hoping that I would bring up on this podcast where you were like, I want Catmaster to say that keyword and then I'm going to go rage on a rant?
I want to know what motherboard that is in the background.
It's a super old one.
Yeah, I'm just like you. I still have one of those motherboards laying around as well. Well, let me see what.
Fatality. Wait, that's like 2010. No.
Yeah, pretty much exactly. Yeah, I never used it. Like I built it into a computer with a CPU that the vendor said, or the manufacturer, Abit, said was compatible with this motherboard, and I never got it to run. It always crashed in the Windows installation. And then, like, even after firmware update and everything, and then like 2-3 weeks after buying all the components and like not getting the PC to run, I just bought a new motherboard, put it together, instantly worked.
Yeah, sometimes it's weird. Like I have one of these old ones. This is my old streaming PC, actually. I don't know why I'm keeping it, but yeah, it's like fun to
nostalgia.
have. Yeah,
I mean, we love tech shit, right? Like I even had a friend of mine came over and he helped me flash my 40 cards, both my graphics cards. So we installed our own update to the driver to them, and what we did is when I start my computers, my stream logo shows up on all my monitors now, and I love it. I see it for a few seconds, and I'm so happy about it. Completely stupid, but it's so.
Okay, that's the dumbest thing ever, and I want to do it.
I know, right? Like he
That's
said,
so stupid, but I want to do it.
he told me he started doing those things, and I was like, "Bro, come over here. We got to fix this. I want it on all my monitors. I click the button. I want my stream logo on all of them." He's like, "I got you, bro."
That's such a waste of time that I want to do.
Oh man,
That's good though.
yeah.
That's
I
beautiful.
felt like just like you said, Baller. Completely stupid, irrelevant, a waste of time, but so worth it.
But how many stupid, irrelevant things do we do daily?
That's
Because
we're all
we love
streamers.
it.
That's my whole life.
Yes. Exactly.
Ugh.
So you can eventually have that beautiful home behind you with a piano and.
Oh god,
Who
I would
want
never
that?
actually want a home that big. That'd be... You know how much vacuuming that would take?
There's robots.
Obviously, you
for
have
that,
a cleaning lady.
and robots. I use a robot, dude. I don't. Yeah.
Oh, I got one of those fiancés.
Oh, one of
No,
those.
I'm just kidding. She doesn't clean my office. She refused to, so I have to do
Understandable with your
that.
weird
We
stock
share
stuff.
the workload in our household. Okay, but
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
I mean,
mention it here.
if you have the money to buy a house that big, you'll have the money to pay for someone to clean it. Okay.
The only thing I have left for POE is I just want more people to be as upset as I am about how much ore we're getting. I just want more ore. It's the only thing I want is more ore.
No, I agree with you.
You always
completely.
want the thing that you're bottlenecked on.
Yeah, but it's...
Yeah, but I feel like we're getting so much of the farm because the farm is 24/7 basically, as long as you have enough gold. The ore is always, I don't know. I'm happy though about the farm because the farm is the one that generates currency. So
I mean, what you would do
just
is if
out
it
of
doesn't
ore.
scale with map mods, is just pull up some, don't even alchem, run a bunch of fucking maps white. Your purpose is not to clear the map. You run for the veins. Click them, move on.
yeah,
Honestly,
but who wants to do that? White maps.
I have like 60 maces, and I was considering just being like, you know what? Just dump the maces. Just dump them all and get ore.
Okay,
And then-
an idea here. We have guys in our town that can map. Why are they not gathering ore?
Hey, get me some ore. They
cost so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're running maps. There is ore in these maps. Why are they not getting any ore for us?
Yeah, click the ore, dude. You're in the map. Do it.
No.
They're
Lazy bums.
very adamant to picking up that transmutation shard or but
I couldn't give them a better loot filter. I just...
But I think that would fix it.
Oh.
And it would justify the cost.
So, here's something. This is actually super relevant. There's already an ID'd loot filter built into NeverSync's filter that's pretty decent. I might have to fine tune it a little bit, but it's pretty decent. It isn't working in Kingsmarch. That's why everything is highlighted all the time and most stuff still shows through even when it's trash, because it's zone level 1.
Oh.
So, I made a module that, one, fixes that and hides everything that is supposed to show at zone level 1 to let the ID filter show through. You can add that module from Filter Blade just in the module section, author BalorMage. It'll be right there. It'll be named like Kingsmarch item fix. I'm also going to slowly try and refine that ID'd filter so that it only shows up good stuff. And I'm going to be putting that into that filter as well. So you don't even have to use my filter for that. That's a module everyone can throw onto their own filters. It's already there. The only downside is, and there was no way around this, if you make an alt, the gem from the zombie will be hidden. You will have to press alt and pick up that gem off the floor that's hidden by the loot filter because it's zone level 1. And if I leave it showing, then you'll also have every gem in Kingsmarch showing. It's one or the other. So just warning people that that's going to happen. Nothing I can do about that.
Okay.
But yeah, it won't change anything about your filter. It won't change sounds. It won't change colors. It won't change anything. The module part will be in my filters anyway if you use them. But if you don't use my filters, it doesn't matter. The module is separate. Everyone can just add it to their own filters if you want to.
Yeah. Cool.
That's amazing. I can't believe that you actually came through.
I only did it today. And chat's been asking me like every day, and I'm like, nope, haven't done it yet. Nope, haven't done it yet. Nope, haven't done it yet.
That sounds a lot like me. Like I say, I'm gonna do
today,
something, and then it takes like a year, and then it's finally done.
Bro, I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. You guys see my wax leg?
It's beautiful,
Oh
man.
no.
By the way, you're the
the
only
black
person
leg.
I know that looks older shaved than unshaved. How do you do
Wow.
that?
But that's not
What?
a waxed leg. That's a waxed spot in your leg.
Ugh.
Look at that.
Free
Oh,
feet.
so that's what that's about.
Okay. So we went all the way up to.
Oh my
Well, I
goodness.
ran out of strips, man.
Look at that, man. Girl filter on the right side.
I ran out of strips. This was like what, a week ago. It's still smooth.
Dude, BalorMage should do that as a sub goal for his chest.
Oh
Yes.
no!
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Ouch.
I'll sub to that.
Absolutely not.
Hey, I can do it on my head
You
at some
guys
point
don't
because I
understand
barely
how
have
much
hair.
my-
So
You don't understand how much my skin glows. I don't see the sun. I'll blind people when I open my shirt if I do that.
He's his own light source.
Yeah, right?
He doesn't need
I
light.
don't need the key
Like,
lights
there's-
anymore.
yeah, there's no
You're good.
key lights. He just reflects his chest on the wall and it reflects back.
You don't understand. I don't need light to reflect. That's how bright it is.
Well,
have you talked to Neversink about the module, Balor? So that like maybe can be like officially implemented? I don't
No,
know if
because
there's
it
official
can't.
support, but
He can't really do it. Like, if he hides it in any of his filters, it'll also hide the gem. It'll also hide all the items that come off Hillock. It'll also hide, like, it can't be a default.
no, not
Because
in the
it's
default, but like have it, the module on the webpage featured as like a special thing.
I mean, I could, but like, I'm gonna continue
too
to
late
edit it
now.
and try and like refine the identified mod filters as well, which
Fair enough.
is gonna rapidly change and like, you know, next
out to
league will
Nick.
become irrelevant and change with the meta and all sorts of things. So I just don't think it would be a good idea for it to be an everyone thing.
But
But
reach out to Nick and tell him to just make sure that areas like that would just be area level 2 or something.
a better solution would be just, yeah, the town is like level 80 or something, level 68, so that all of the mapping stuff kicks in on your filters, right? Like anything at level 68 or higher, all the mapping rules kick in and filters behave. Anything below that, and you've got leveling rules, and then filters don't behave. So I'd make it a level 100 zone just so that, you know, just because like it doesn't make a difference, right? It doesn't matter what zone level it is. I'll just make it 100. But anyway,
Oh, stone levels. You remember the times where we had to summon a specter, then go resummon them in a Shaper's Realm to get to
Yeah.
84?
Or down on the 5th level of that one unique map.
Oh yeah, Oba's Curse. So we had like
That's
this
the one.
entire global channel. We were like, all right, boys, league started. Who's gonna do Oba's first, or who's gonna do Shaper's map first? As soon as someone did it, they were like, yeah, I got a couple portals left. Let's get the boys in here. Just resummon your shit. Thousands of people every league just to do that shit.
Yep.
Oh man, I'm so happy they changed it.
It's always incredible to me though how like a community like figures shit like that out. Always very interesting. Same with like all the builds. Like we talked about earlier. When there's one new item, which basically opens up like Pandora's box. It's always incredible to see what the community can do. Wild.
Yeah.
Keeps me coming back.
Has anyone seen any completely new builds this league? Like, I don't mean like, hey, it's a Warden Lightning Strike instead of a Deadeye Lightning Strike. I mean like a thing that hasn't been a thing. Because I still haven't seen any new ones. Like I've seen variations and improvements, and I see a lot more people playing melee builds, but like
finally,
Retaliate, I guess, would be the only thing that's new, right?
Oh, the Retaliate builds. Those are new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also think they're not that bad. Like, I heard pretty good things from the one guy in my community who's running them. Sounded pretty good.
Is that a reactive thing? Or is that something you can just do from the get-go?
There was earlier something in chat where like people said it was reactive because it reacts to something coming in, but it's technically an automatic build, right? Like you don't need to react. It's like your build automatically reacting to you coming in, right? Like those retaliation skills.
Retaliate still requires you to press a button.
It does?
Yeah, it gives you a window. It's like if it's so it'll be like a trigger, for instance.
Oh, okay, then it's reactive.
When
then
you
I completely
block,
misunderstood.
There'll then be a window for 2 seconds where you can press the button, or when you get hit, or when you evade, or whenever the trigger is. There'll be like a 2-second window where you can.
But isn't there one that automatically works? Like one out of them does automatically do something, right?
I don't think so.
I mean, all you do is auto hotkey, unlock the scroll wheel on your Logitech mouse, and let it rip.
Right.
It goes.
Or just put it in.
Put
it in the middle of your flash buttons and like mash it every couple of seconds, what you're doing anyway.
I think that's how people play it. They're like, oh, let's just mash this button every now and then, and hopefully it's off, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, here, auto exertion Vengeful Cry can technically be automated with enough cooldown recovery. What in chat is informing me of right now. Okay. See, I'm not in the retaliation game. I need to get into that. Maybe that's something that I could be doing with the next build and check out those skills a little bit now that I know Balor is already dedicating himself to the Death's Oath. Then I don't need to. Because I can't possibly hope to have a glorious build like yours, Balor. I'll just live vicariously through your build. Is there any... I think one thing I quickly want to touch before we round things off is what are your favorite Atlas farming strats, or like what are you currently running on your... Because you said something about your strat, Balor, but you said mainly that it revolves around
my job is to drop as many tier 17 maps as I can to sell in bulk.
Yeah. But what mechanics, like what Atlas tree are you running on your tier 16s?
Every single map node I could possibly get. The entire top hat, every quant node, every increased effect node in existence, every connected map node, every plus level of maps, everything. There's no actual mechanics on my tree. It looks like a progression tree. And then it's just add 4 cartography scarabs of risk, and then add one of the 10% more map drops or increased map drop per modifier. And then you're running 12 modifiers with max effect, max connected maps, max plus maps, and 120% increased map drop. And off I go.
I just do Harbies. I'm having
I started with that.
Yeah.
I started with Harbies, and then for some reason actually turned out to be kind of meta. Even though I just felt like, oh, this seems good, so I'm going to play this. And then I saw Pox doing it as well, so I eventually took over Pox's Atlas. He fine-tuned it a bit better. And I recently switched to the Strongbox one, which is ridiculous. It is so crazy. The first ever one I did, first ever T17 Strongbox, I instantly made like, I think it was 15 div. But that's because Icy Brothers dropped twice.
Nice.
So I got 2 fracturing orbs that I could just sell. It was from the first box as well that I opened. It was just, oh, this strat seems good.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that was
I see
absolutely idiotic. But it's really good.
I've been having a lot of fun this league with the way the scarabs work, and I'm not too happy about the whole explicit map modifier scaling meta going on the Atlas tree. Not a big fan of that. But as someone who very often, like when I'm done with a stream, I sit up 4, 5, sometimes up to 8, 9, 10 hours just profit crafting. I feel not just incentivized, but also I feel like I'm being entertained doing maps in a different way than I have been for the past 10 years playing this game. I genuinely enjoy just blasting maps this league, which I'm absolutely in love with because I haven't felt this type of enjoyment from doing that in a very long time. Does that make sense? I know, like, it hasn't been that much that has changed, but enough for me to be like, wow, I'm really enjoying just blasting.
As a side note, the only reason that the max pack size thing is the thing is because there's very little strategies left to do in tier 7, in tier 16s.
Yeah.
Because all of the scarabs for all the different strategies we would normally have done are now priced around tier 17 runners.
Yep.
Because they make way more than we do out of every one of those strategies, so you can't do any of them, which means we have to go, not the node, but essentially we have to go back to basics. How can I get the most amount of stuff to drop? I have to just put the most amount of mobs in my map. The way to get that is have the most amount of pack size. That's all. That's most of everything we have left. Like, it's all into 17s. So,
which cards did you sear?
Apothecary, which I still haven't seen.
Yeah,
Apothecary, which I still haven't seen.
Same. I've seen it, but like I got one stacked deck from a boat, and then I threw it on the ground, and there it was.
Stacked deck.
20D of that was scammed, though. Sadly, like you've probably seen my clip.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
I didn't know. Like, I was so tired. It was like a 15-hour or 16-hour stream, and this is the first time I ever would wear a replica, and it looked the same, and it didn't look correctly, and then I just bought the normal boots. I didn't know it had a glow, because on the website it doesn't show that it has a glow. It just looks the same. So yeah, the guy got me. It was funny though. It's a good story now.
I love your reaction. You know I'm streaming, right? The dude fucked. Like, he's not gonna give it back.
Oh, you have to send me that clip.
I love it. Yeah, it's beautiful. I think it's in my. It's just a command in my chat. Exclamation mark scammed. So let me see. I'll put it in this chat. Yeah.
I could actually bring it up on stream. I guess. I think if I share, if I have it in a tab, and if I share the tab, then
I'm just gonna put it in your chat.
People can look at it from chat.
There you go.
Check it out.
Yeah. What's that? I'm asking. Like, this is a good deal. It's like, I was so tired. I even moused over the item and looked at it for like 3 seconds.
Sorry. I mean, I do on the other PC, but not on this one.
But yeah, it was rough. It was rough. The thing is, though, I've learned to just fully trust this community, because I've never had someone in all the time I've played, I've never had anyone pull anything weird on me ever. So eventually, like, I reached that level of trust where it's just like, okay, like, do trade.
I got scammed once. And the guy gave me back the stuff, and then he gave me a fool's divination card.
Oh, damn.
I've been reverse scammed 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, where I've scammed myself by wildly overpaying or bringing out the wrong stacks of things. All 3 times, that person has messaged me and been like, yo, You gave me this was back in Exalt times. Like you gave me 3 stacks of Exalts and it was meant to be 1. And I'm like, my bad. And then they re-invite me and they go give me my currency back.
Yeah, dude, the
I gotta
community
do that,
overall
yeah.
is wonderful. Like this community is so amazing. That's why like I've gained that level of trust over time. And yeah. It was wild.
I'll just quickly play it. Oh, it's an entire highlight, 2 minutes. Okay, wait. It starts from the start though, right? So we don't. watch the
I look
entire
at
thing.
it. I see like a very cheap item. I think it was.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Oh, the Alberons over replica Alberons.
No, I see the 20D super
Am I
underpriced.
seeing something wrong here?
All right, but he did list the. Oh yeah, and then he just swapped you, and you didn't read
What the fuck? Did I just get a really good deal?
Did I just get a really good deal?
I love how you hovered over and looked
Bro.
at it for so long as well.
I was so tired.
No, he's not.
He's not.
Oh shit! Fuck! Ah
It was
shit!
beautiful.
Wait,
You
but
know, we're
why-
laughing because like we were fine, right? But imagine like the casual Andes who like,
It was
he finally
beautiful.
got enough to buy the item and then they get scammed like that. I'm sure that happens. It's so
Yeah, I wonder like whether that was
that
actually
ends.
considered when they decided to add like a batch of unique items into the game, sharing unique art with the already existing items in the game, but having completely different stats in some places.
I mean, people overdo the
100%.
6-link scam here, you know.
Yeah, but that 100% kills somebody's league. Like somebody falls for that and goes, I just spent the last 2 weeks making that 20 div.
Well, for me, it was
Then they
like
just
I
close
just got
the game and
that
don't come back.
card. I got that card, so it was just like, oh well, 20D. I'll get it back, and I got it back the next day.
For players like us, oh, I lost 20 div, and you'll be angry about it, and then tomorrow it'll be funny.
Yeah,
But that-
exactly. I was like,
that can take some
content.
people most of their league, and then they'll be like, it's gone.
I'm those
Yeah.
people now. I'm casual cat, dude. Like I played like maybe 40 hours this league so far.
No, we got that from the molten shell discussion earlier.
Yep.
God
Also, I look
Clearly.
damn,
Clearly.
shots fired.
Molten
So-
Shell is good, dude. Like, I mean, come on. Like, I appreciate what you said, Gazzy, but the guy criticizing me and telling me to run Steelskin instead can go eat.
Don't listen to
Steelskin.
Baller. He's the inferior guy.
Like,
here. We
Steelskin
know-
is utter trash.
Oh man! Speaking of giving each other shits, I'm not sure if you knew Kongor, but me and Baller, like we're good friends. We have been for a long time, and we've been like always like teasing each other, giving us shit, give each other shit for I don't know years, right?
How dare
And
you?
then suddenly our chat started. Both of our chats was like started to take the shit seriously, so we had to like tone it down and start to tell people. It's all in good spirit, guys.
It's
We're
POE
actually
content
not. We don't
creator
hate
beef.
each other. It's like, what the fuck is going on? It's
People-
such a shit show.
People are just primed to look out for that drama that they're craving. 'Cause,
Yeah.
You know, if you
I
keep
know all
searching for
about
something
that.
that you're looking for, then you're also gonna find it.
We should start some drama, Gazzy.
Yeah. Never let you, never show your face on this podcast again.
I'm gonna let Gazzy scam me or something.
No.
Just make one of his gloves feel like that.
Actually, can you just give me that next apothecary drop? I'll gamba it, and then I'll take an alley tax on it.
Yeah, and then I'll
No
be like,
one
oh my
heard that
god, you
joke."
scammed me. You said you were gonna definitely double it. Reddit drama, and then we're gonna have Lily like analyze the drama and give us like stars and wonderful, dude.
Yeah. I like it. And then come out and say it was all staged, and then
Yeah.
do it again next league.
Yep.
Lily handing out those star stickers like elementary school teachers.
Yeah, man. I my favorite thing is like the clown rating. You get an amount of clown stars.
Oh,
I don't know what-
yep.
it's beautiful.
Awesome.
Oh man.
Well, we've reached past the 2-hour mark already. I don't want to keep you for too long. I always like to keep these short and sweet as long as the hype is still there and all that, and then rather do one soon again where we reunite and talk about stuff. But if there's something that you still wanted to bring up before I conclude things and do my little ado, say it now or be silent forever.
It was awesome to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for
It's
coming
been a
on.
while since I was here, so thanks for having me again. Appreciate it as always.
We're gonna try and make it happen again soon. I hope there's gonna be some stuff to discuss for PoE 2 soon with the new Gamescom game preview that we're gonna see there. Unfortunately, you're not gonna be there, but I'll gladly tell you all about it. And yeah, once again, letting the people know we're doing a meetup at ExileCon. Well, at ExileCon. We're doing a meetup in Cologne during Gamescom. I made a Reddit server and I posted it. I made a Discord server and I posted it on the Reddit. Wow, dude, messing it all up. But get in touch, guys. Get in there so I know how many people are coming. I want to provide some food at least and a gas barbecue. And yeah, everyone is invited to come. Bring your own beverages. Communication of the location will be following during the week of Gamescom, likely early in the day of the event, because I want to keep it like low key so that you know, to avoid certain obstacles. But yeah, I was originally planning to do a sponsored stream after this podcast in order to help fund my investment into the meetup, but that's not happened because there were some technical difficulties in the background that I was not able to overcome, so we're going to do a regular PoE stream. If you want to support, there's the usual gateways of Patreon, the Twitch, YouTube, and all that, and you'll be shouted on the end screen as always. And yeah, I'll also try and come up with like a special event, like a Catmaster versus stream or something next weekend where we can do some fundraising maybe. That's that. I'll keep in touch about the meetup. GhazzyKongor, thanks for attending and being here today. It was a pleasure to have you both on. Definitely fun to have KingKongor on the podcast for the first time also. But yeah, always great to have a familiar face back, Ghazzy. And I think people said you look like you lost weight. I wanted to say that in the beginning, but I was hesitant. And I believed it the entire time until someone pointed out that Ghazzy looks younger with a beard. Yeah, you, Kongor, said Ghazzy looks younger with a beard than without it.
Ghazzy only gains weight, man.
I think it's only the beard making it look like it's a shade, so you look like slimmer in your face. But when you shave it off, then your face looks rounder and fuller. So it's the beard adding like some nice shading, so it looks more like a chiseled chin.
He's saying that without it, you basically don't have that.
Yep, that's what I heard.
Well, the thing is, if I shave, I look like a thumb. So you see this? Same picture.
That's
You know?
Now that you
No, but
mention it,
honestly, I noticed that for myself. When you start like shaving under here, you get this nice contour under your chin that contrasts with your throat, right? Like,
Man's makeup.
Exactly.
I look like an absolute baby when I shave, so I avoid it.
He's calling you fat. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Anyway, guys, check out these lovely broadcasters. If you enjoyed anything that they were saying, go to their channels to get more opinions and more statements and funny clips like the one where KingKongor gets scammed for almost 20 divines.
Not almost. 20 divines.
All right, yeah, pretty much exactly. Cool. So I'll be doing the thing. Thanks for hanging out. We'll announce a new podcast for next weekend in the next couple of days. Still got everything in the works in the back end, but there will probably be one. And until then, have a wonderful time and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
I know a lot of people want to send blankets or water. Just send your cash.